is like the go-to place for everything. If you ever want to reach out to me personally, my email is also on there as well. But that's a good place to get started on your journey and to kind of figure out what I do and what I offer. And then I also have like TikTok, Instagram, if you want little snippets on lucid dreaming and how to do it. But YouTube is like definitely the place for everything and to find out all the different ways to work with me and reach out to me.
Since YouTube is the prime place to get started, I've gone ahead and put the YouTube link right here on the screen for you guys. So I would urge you to go to her YouTube channel and like and subscribe. And also start with, if you're new to lucid dreaming, start with the beginner's playlist. And that would be a really good place to get your feet wet on exactly what lucid dreaming is and how to get started in doing it. Let's do some shout outs over here for Facebook. Magical Monday to Melissa Begley and her sidekick, Miss Cleo. Big shout out to Bowling Green and Janice Nixon. Hi to Ina Thompson. Good to see you. I'm not sure if any of the other platforms will show shout outs, but if you are listening on any of the podcasts, big shout out to you guys. And if you see and feel generous with the share or donate button, go ahead and send us some coffee money. That always helps with paying for all this technology that
Love me some coffee. You know I do.
yeah, that brings you the show. So where did this all begin, Haylee? Like, how did you get interested in lucid dreaming and being a lucid mystic? And what does that mean? And how did this all start?
Great question. It kind of all just happened. I've always been kind of a weird kid. I've always thought I was like some like forest elf. Like growing up, I always like thought I was an alien of sorts. I'd have really interesting dreams. I was having random out-of-body experiences growing up. I grew up in very paranormally active households. So that really opened up my eyes when I was little and showed me there's a lot more that I can't physically see with my eyes. My childhood was very, very intense when it comes to the experiences that I had. I was always a dreamer though, and always open to all of this. When I got older, I didn't grow up in the most positive kind of household. I had a lot of trauma growing up, and through school is when I think it got the worst. That's when I really started getting lots of anxiety, depression. My self-worth just started to kind of like deteriorate, as you do going through.
Over 13, would you say, or a little bit older?
Yeah, I was about 13 is when it started. And as time went on, I started to develop a lot of stomach issues, digestive issues, and I'm pretty sure it stemmed from like anxiety and stuff like that. And I ended up getting esophagitis, which is like inflammation of my esophagus, IBS, ulcers, gastritis I also had, and eventually I was in the ER like 3 to 4 times a week. I was throwing up blood, and it was kind of the hand around like, oh no, we don't know what's wrong with you, but we're going to pass you off to this specialist. Okay, we did testing, we're not sure. How about take this medication? Before I knew it, still felt like I did, actually worse than when it started. And I was on 8 different medications. At this point, I wasn't really practicing lucid dreaming or out-of-body experiences because I was a teenager. I was going through school. I was like trying to survive. It was like a very hard time for me. And I just started calling out like, please, there has to be something out there that can give me an answer, because I couldn't work. I was feeling very suicidal. My entire life was taken away from me. Financially, it was just a very hard situation, especially to deal with my health. And because I made that intention, I started having random experiences. I would get,
because you put the intention out there.
Exactly. And I was open to receiving anything. There has to be a way that I can be healed. Please. Like it was like the worst pain I've ever experienced in my life. And I started having sleep paralysis experiences and little glimpse of lucid dreams, and I would wake up in the middle of the night and half my leg was out of my body. Like if you guys have ever had an out-of-body experience, you can kind of get stuck in your body and you're like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
That started happening to me. And after a week of this, I was like, okay, there's something trying to connect with me. There's something I got to do with this. And I never saw it before, but I thought this is obviously being shown to me for a reason. And this
Yeah.
reminds me of all the experiences I had when I was little. So maybe I can do something with it. And I made the intention to heal my stomach in my next lucid dream. It took me about a week to get lucid, but I remember I got lucid on this suburban street. The sun was shining. It was like very, very vivid. And this guy in a white truck parks across the street. And I always describe him like Archangel Michael. He looked like Archangel Michael to me. And he came out to me and said, "Hey, I'm here to help you heal your stomach like you asked for." Very, yeah, it was very, I was like, okay, well, who am I to say no at this point? Like, let's go.
But it was out of desperation for relief.
Totally. Anything. I would have anything, even if you could have told me, okay.
Interesting, because when I counsel people in my sessions about working with angels, I always tell them, you have to be desperate. In order for them to show up and really affect change, you have to be begging and pleading and desperate. And certainly you were at that point.
Free will. You can't receive help unless you're open to it, and you kind of allow it in. And I was to the point where my entire life was being completely taken away from me. Like, and that was at a point where I wasn't connecting with my family. I didn't have any friends. I was in a, like, getting thrown around through different households because I was kicked out of my house when I was 18. And so after that, I was kind of fending for myself. So it was in the midst of like all of this drama. And this probably happened when I was about 15 or 16. So right before I actually started moving out. And in my dream, this character led me to this healing pool of water, this swimming pool. And he said, if you spend the rest of your dream in here, you're going to feel better. And I was like, okay, I don't really know I didn't know what to expect. This dream character just been like, hey, all of the pain you're experiencing in waking life will disappear if you just like swim around in this pool. It was like some random swimming pool in the back of someone's house in the dream. Like, I don't even know. I stayed in that pool saying, thank you for my healing. Thank you for my healing. Because we're in our subconscious mind, so we can actually make affirmations right then and there, and it goes straight to our subconscious. Yeah. I just said, thank you for my healing. Thank you for my healing, until the dream faded. And that was the first day in over 6 years that I didn't have any pain. And so I decided to see how long I could go without taking my medications. I still haven't taken any of my medications. So I was able to cut cold turkey from the lucid dream. And since then I've gotten endoscopy, and it seems to be cleared up, and everyone's confused. I told the doctor exactly what happened. I was so excited, and they're like,
that's okay. We'll leave them.
Yeah.
There are some questions popping up here. So Laura Day says, hi, my dad has nightmares since my mom passed. I gave him suggestions of when he sees red in the dream that he will realize he's dreaming and be able to influence it. He sees a red bird now, my mom's favorite, but still having problems changing the dream, even though he knows he's dreaming. Any suggestions?
So with that, the key to lucid dreaming is awareness. We cannot become aware that we're dreaming if we don't practice awareness, right? For me, I get lucid because I dream that I'm in school 4 to 5 times a week, and I'm obviously not in school in waking life. So I train myself to know, okay, the next time I see a school, it must be a dream, because school is not a part of my waking life. So I feel like he also needs to do that, but with the color red. It seems like he's already dreaming. He's already having these really powerful dreams. So now he just needs to look at the context of his dreams and start to set up what's called awareness triggers or lucidity triggers. Anytime he sees the color red in waking life, or anything that reminds him of her, he should ask himself, how do I know that I'm awake right now? And he'll start to create that habit. Red means check if I'm dreaming, or whatever he's dreaming about the most. If he thinks about his wife, if he sees a picture of her, he should ask himself if he's dreaming. Whatever you dream about the most, anytime you come in contact with it in waking life, you want to train yourself to ask if this could be a dream, because then next time, habitually, you dream of those things, you're going to habitually ask yourself if you're dreaming. And control in the dream all comes down to awareness. The more aware you are, the more aware you can be of what's happening. Then when you get that awareness in the dream, you'll be able to kind of take control of it because your awareness is high enough. Sometimes we can slip out of lucidity, like, oh, I know I'm dreaming. Okay, I'm in a regular dream again. Oh, and it's because of the lack of awareness, but we can use our waking life to actually practice that and set up these awareness triggers, as I call them. So I hope that that helps.
What about people, and I get this a lot from clients because, I think lucid dreaming and out of body experiences are very transformative, but there are a lot of clients that will tell me, I don't dream.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say to that?
Everybody dreams. It's a natural part of our biology. We all dream every single night, and we have about 5 to 6 REM periods every single night. REM stands for rapid eye movement, and that's the stage of sleep where we dream, we experience sleep paralysis, we lucid dream, and we go into that every 90 minutes. So literally every 90 minutes you are dreaming, but dream recall is a skill. When I talk to those people, I ask, when was the last time you tried to dream? Because dreaming really is a skill. Again, we're all dreaming. It's a natural part of our biology, but the memory of it is something that we have to build. So if you've been struggling to remember your dreams, the thing that I recommend to everybody is to get a dream journal. And a lot of people say, well, Haylee, how am I supposed to write down my dreams if I'm not remembering dreams? Like, how am I going to use my dream journal? And the thing to note is getting a dream journal is a memory building tool. It actually helps build your memory over time the more and more you use it. So every single night when you go to sleep, I'd set an intention. Tonight, I'll remember my dreams. I have excellent dream recall. I love that affirmation. It works wonders for me. And as soon as you wake up in the morning, before you get out of bed, because again, when we stimulate our brain, that completely takes away our dream recall. So try to wake up slowly and ask, did I remember anything last night? Do you remember who I was, where I was with, what I was doing? And you can write down anything that you remember from your dreams. If you don't remember anything at all, just write down, I didn't remember any dreams tonight. And that shows your brain it's actually a priority to remember your dreams. And more nights that go on, you'll actually start to build your recall naturally that way.
So when you put that intention out there, tonight I'm going to remember my dreams. Isn't that kind of a kickstart to the awareness that we were talking about?
Absolutely. The way to dream more and to lucid dream is to become more aware of this time, to become more aware of your dreams. So not only is it helping you put the focus on your dreams before you go to bed, but it also helps set the intention. And 2 to 5 minutes before you fall asleep, that's when your subconscious mind starts to open. This is why when we're falling asleep, we start to have random thoughts that don't make sense. And it's because our conscious mind is closing and our subconscious mind is opening. So as you're falling asleep, this is the best time to set affirmations, intentions, and to affirm what you want to dream of. We can even use this time to almost create some sort of dream incubation period where we can actually influence our regular dreams. So setting the intention before you go to sleep and making sure before you get out of bed to write anything in your dream journal, that will completely transform your practice. And in about a week, you're going to start remembering full dreams from that point on.
So, and it's after the person is able to remember the dreams, what's the next step in trying to interact with lucidity in the dream?
So you really want to get really familiar with your dreaming territory. You really want to know what you're dreaming about the most, the kind of the settings that your dreams are in, because if you can study that from your dream journal, the next time that you're in a dream, you're going to be more aware of it. You're going to be like, oh, this reminds me of a dream that I was just writing about yesterday. Oh, wait, I'm dreaming. And we can become conscious that way. So I would start studying what you're dreaming about the most, and you're going to find something that's called a dream sign. Now, we all have tons of dream signs, but a dream sign is basically just a sign that you're dreaming. For example, my biggest dream sign is that I am in school. 4 to 5 times a week, I dream that I'm in high school, I'm in a classroom, I'm in an elementary school, and I have to know that's a dream, right? Because I'm graduated. So anytime that I think of school or I see a school, I have to go into a school for whatever reason in waking life, I check if I'm dreaming. That way, habitually, anytime I dream of a school, the first thing that I think to do is, wait, is this a dream? So I would study what you're dreaming about the most. What do you dream about, like even multiple times a week? And anytime you come in contact with that in waking life, train yourself to ask if you could be dreaming, and that will help set up the habit to do the same thing the next time that you dream about it. So getting very familiar with your dreaming territory will definitely help you.
So Laura has a question on here. I usually attend Catherine's dream analysis, and I've told her about my own intense dreams apparently runs in the family. Does that kind of thing run in the family, to have really intense or vivid dreams?
It definitely can. How you spend your time in your dream space can absolutely run in the family. One thing also that I've noticed is the same kind of thing was happening to me in my family as well. My brother had lots of night terrors when he was little. And then I started to kind of have similar experiences, not the same, but I realized that it was actually like generational trauma that was being passed down. Because when we're dreaming, that's the time for our brain to consolidate memory, to integrate trauma. So this is where everything comes up in the subconscious mind. So we can actually carry over trauma from, loved ones that show up in our dreams. So it is possible that generationally you do have stronger dreams, because that does run in your family, but it also could be a message that hasn't been resolved yet, that has been passed down through your family. So lucid dreaming can open up a whole world of like ancestral work, and you're face to face with your inner self. You can really do so much work there. So
Right. So I want to try to impart the importance of being able to do lucid dreaming. How I want you to tell the audience, what do you feel like are the most important aspects of how lucid dreaming can help their lives? Like, why should they do it?
lucid dreaming shows us what we're too scared to admit. Lucid dreaming can also show us how we've been playing small, or something that we haven't completely been able to admit to ourselves. Lucid dreaming really shows us the world that isn't seen. Like when we're in the lucid dream, we're face to face with our subconscious mind. We can practice skills in the lucid dream and wake up with improved skill. They've been doing this in sports science forever. I was able to physically heal an incurable stomach condition through the lucid dream. I've been able to actually meet my shadow, integrate some trauma, go on the craziest adventures with past loved ones through visitations. So it really gives you an opportunity to live life in a different way, because you're willing to see deeper. It's like you're making best friends with the parts of yourself that have been denied, suppressed, disowned. And not only are you getting to understand yourself on a deeper level, because you're really connecting to your inner self, but also you gain a better understanding of the world that you live in and how to actually use it. And what I really love about the dream world is I always tell people to live like you're lucid dreaming, because lucid dreaming shows us that everything is a part of us. Every tree, every blade of grass, every person, every raindrop. And that is the same for this waking life. But in the lucid dream, if you were at a coffee shop and someone was a jerk to you in the line, like you wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, what is that person's problem? It's like, that it's you because you're lucid dreaming. So you'd be like, I wonder what that represents to me. You would come to that character with love and curiosity because they're an extension of you. So one thing I definitely got from lucid dreaming is to live like I am dreaming, see the interconnectedness in everything, and know that everywhere that I look, there will always be a symbol that will allow me to show up differently in my life. So I just think it shows us the depth of reality and all that we can't see with our
That's awesome.
eyes.
Yeah. So Melissa says, my grandmother went to the doctor and he told her she had poor circulation. I had asked her if these dreams ran in the family. She says that was his medical explanation of why she had such realistic dreams.
That's interesting.
That is interesting that he was able to connect that. That's interesting.
That's really interesting. And dreams can also show you maybe where, like, what we can't see in waking life. I had a client who suffered 15 years of nicotine addiction. And through one lucid dream, he was able to actually talk to his brain and ask how he can actually break the habit of smoking cigarettes. And it's like,
great.
Yeah. And it's like we can connect to our habits, to our fears, and actually communicate with them. So I'm not surprised that showed up as far as a connection with dreams. That's crazy.
So Laura says, I have lots of dreams when I know I'm dreaming, but it just feels like an altered state, or like I'm in an otherworldly place. Like I just wake up somewhere else on the other side. Is it the other side or is it just a dream?
That's a really good question. And one thing also, to kind of check what reality you're in, you can do what's called a reality check. If you guys have seen like Inception, they basically use the spinning top to see if they're dreaming or not. Yeah, but we aren't guaranteed to have a spinning top every dream we have. So I usually try to count my fingers and poke my palm through my hand. If my finger goes through my palm, that has to mean that I either have a hole in my hand that shouldn't be there, or I am dreaming. So if you ever wake up in the out of body state or you're not sure if you're awake or not, get in the habit of checking if you're dreaming, because then even when you go to sleep and you're in a dream and you're not sure what's happening, you'll go to see if you're dreaming or not, and that will create an effortless lucid dream. So when in doubt, check if you're dreaming, and that will also help you get lucid when you actually are dreaming.
But her question is it the other side? And often, I've talked to clients about the fact that being able to lucid dream is practice for when you die, because if your awareness is able to navigate that existence, then actually being dead is not going to be such a bummer after all.
I love that you said that. It's actually called Bardo yoga. It's the practice between the death, or the Bardo means the in-between state. So between birth and death. So yes, lucid dreaming and out-of-body experiences can absolutely be used for that. And it's interesting because when people say, is it the other side? I believe that they're so interconnected. I believe that even the dream world is a part of that, like, reality. Even when I
Yeah.
have out of body experiences, I'm able to connect to my grandfather who's passed away. So they all have to be I mean, if you believe in quantum physics, everything coexists within each other. So I definitely believe it was a dream and the other side at the same
Yeah,
time.
I agree too. So Barbie wants to know, I sometimes solve problems in my dreams. They are so real. Can you ask questions before you go to sleep to receive answers?
You absolutely can. This is one of the things that I talk about in the dream planning process. Not only can we plan the dreams out that we want to have, but we can also plan to meet up with loved ones, have visitations, also ask specific answers, and actually receive the answers in our dreams. It's just up to us to be able to decode the symbolism in the dreams. But it's going to be super fun because once you start getting lucid, you can literally call out to the sky, ask a question, and hear a booming voice from the sky that is you. So you can absolutely ask questions before you go to sleep. And then once you get lucid, I highly recommend asking questions because that will make it
Because
even more
Barbie
fun.
has had solved problems in her dreams before, one of your courses would be really beneficial for her to take, I think, in furthering this, solving advanced life problems, guiding her life forward, and all that. So
Yeah.
Susan says, so what you're saying is if you concentrate enough on really what you want to dream about, that it will bring it forward.
Yeah, so I definitely recommend having like a dream planning journal. And that's just basically to plan out when I get lucid, I'll do this, or in my next dream, I'll do this. So it's all about the intention. And then to also further add on to that, when I'm falling asleep, I will imagine being in the dream that I want to have, feeling the feelings that I want to have, and I will play it out as vividly as I can because your brain can't tell the difference between something you're imagining, something you're dreaming about, and something that's actually happening. So you can almost trick your brain into thinking you're actually experiencing that dream and produce those emotions, and that will make it much more likely that you have that dream that night. And that's called the mild technique, the mnemonic induced lucid dream technique, or you can just use it for regular dreams. But you can absolutely influence them just by putting yourself in the space of that dream before it actually happens.
Right. So you're mapping it out, kind of.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Susan wants to know, how do you repair or I'm assuming that's prepare before you go to sleep.
So, if you're just starting in this practice, you really want to set aside like at least an hour before you go to sleep to not be on a lot of technology, because blue light can actually interfere with our brain and stimulate our brain, so it can make it harder to go to sleep. So the last hour at least of wakefulness, I would do yoga, I would write, I would read, I would write down what you want to dream about. You can even meditate. Just help wind yourself down, because again, when you go to bed, your bed is a dreaming temple. You are literally leaving this reality to enter another state of consciousness. So we should initiate ourselves into sleep, because dreaming is a sacred sacred practice, and sleep is a sacred place. So I think we should absolutely find some sort of ritual to help initiate us into the experience, and also plan out the experience you want to have. Before you go on an adventure, you don't just like go out the door. You kind of plan out what your adventure is going to be, what you're going to do. And I think dreaming should be the same way. Intention is everything. So remember that for sure.
Absolutely. I want to now put up your Instagram. This is the Instagram, but also I want to show this real quick in the stream. This is the Instagram. Let me hide my.
If you're talking, I think you're muted. Just want to let you know.
Okay, there we
There
go.
you go.
So,
Perfect.
she has courses on Teachable that I'll put up in just a second so that you can kind of see that. And I want to do a couple of quick shout outs to people that are on here. Big shout out to my buddy Rob Abbott, Laura Day, Yasmin Jadoon, and let's see, Melissa Newman. And a special shout out to my favorite person in the whole world, Miss Martha Theobald. And Susan Nisi. So she says, when I was a child, sleep was my form of life. And,
I feel you.
you know, a lot of people, like you said, you had some trauma growing up. And so a lot of people experience that too. And I'm sure that dreaming was like a natural way to escape some of that.
It was my wonderland, and it always has been. And I become friends with dream characters now that I can actually revisit. So I totally agree with you. Like, it's my wonderland. It's my Neverland away from home for sure.
Mm-hmm. So when people get started with this, like we were saying earlier, in case people are joining now, if you want to get started with this, I'm going to put up the YouTube channel again. Go to the YouTube channel and start with the beginner playlist. Remember that the courses and classes are on Teachable. So you can just look, is it under the Lucid Mystic on Teachable?
So you'll actually see the links to Teachable in my YouTube description.
Awesome.
It'd be kind of hard to search through Teachable, so you can find everything in the YouTube description. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if somebody is interested in kind of furthering this, what can they expect from taking a course? Like, what do they need special equipment, or what all's involved in taking a class?
So all you'll need is your dream journal and your bed. It's really, really awesome because you can do this practice anywhere. It all really depends where you're at. A lot of my courses, I have a course called Lucid Dream in 30 Days or Less. This is how to actually go from not even remembering your dreams to being able to induce lucid dreams in 30 days. So I have a lot of online classes like that. And then if you're wanting to work with me one-on-one, it's all about where you are at and where you want to get to. So what does your dream practice already look like, and what are you trying to use it for? Are you wanting a specific answer? Do you have a physical ailment that you want to heal? So it really does depend on what someone's wanting to use it for. And it's really hard when someone's like, well, what's everything you can use lucid dreaming for? It's like, I have to ask you what you want to use or how you want to use it, because it's such a diverse, limitless practice. So when working with me, it's all based around where you're at and what you want to experience through this practice, or how you want it to actually transform your life. And I totally believe in this practice. It has never, like, it ceases to, and like it can do everything, so it's
no limit to it, because there's no limit
exactly
to the mind, really.
Exactly. So that's what it all comes down
On
to,
your
for sure.
courses, is it just like written content? Do you have videos that people watch, or?
So they're online video courses. So I do have a few different ones, but they are all online courses. There is an overview of each class as well. So there is like a full text guide of each class as well. That way you can still study on the side. But yeah, it's all online content that you can come back to at any time.
Okay, let's see. And you do have Facebook groups, but I couldn't add it to the items for tonight. So let's talk a little bit about the Facebook group and what's the name of the page.
Yeah, so my Facebook group is called Haylee Lynn's Lucid Dream Team, and it's basically a community lucid dreaming group where people can post their questions, they can share their wins, they can, talk about their dreaming experiences, and it's just basically a way to connect with other inspired dreamers to help kind of grow your practice and to create more lucidity in your life and other lives as well. It's like having a dream family, So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you recommend that people use a dream journal?
Absolutely. Everybody.
Is there a particular
Everybody.
one that you like over other ones? Like, do you have a recommended reading list for dream recall or dream dictionary that you like?
I actually do not. The main thing with dream journaling is just to make sure that I think the main thing is making sure that someone like uses it consistently. As long I don't even care what notebook I use because I go through them so quickly. So as long as I can use one. But I do want to say if you guys are looking into like lucid dreaming books, Charlie Morley is like the best person to read from. So I would definitely look into Charlie Morley's books. He has a lot of like beginners books. But as far as dream journals, as long as you're writing your dreams every single day, that's the most important thing. I will actually be coming out with a custom lucid dreaming journal that will allow you to not only build your dream recall naturally, but also use it to get lucid. So that's coming soon. But as long as you're writing them down, most important thing.
Hopefully, when you get to that point, let me know and we'll have you back on the show to give an update and to talk about what kind of advances that you've been into or are working on at the time. So
Totally.
that gives us a good opportunity to go into and discuss what your plans are for the future and what we as clients can become involved in. Like, what are your plans and where are we going and how can we tag along?
Awesome question. So, the biggest thing is YouTube is really where my biggest focus is. So, you guys are always welcome to come hang out in the community. I stream every Monday at like 8 p.m. on Mondays, except today. Today's going to be a little earlier, but it's just a way to kind of connect with me, ask questions. Mondays are basically me being like a lucid dream coach in your pocket, so you can come with all of your questions. So, my one of my goals is to grow my YouTube channel. We're actually about to hit 10,000 subscribers in like a day or two. So I am having like a live stream party / giveaway for that on the 27th at 5 p.m. on my channel if there's anyone that wants to join for that. But my biggest goal is to get people excited to dream again, get people excited to dream big and to actually start creating their dreams in their waking life. And any way that I can get that information out, I'm going to do it because I'm working on a book right now, the custom dream journal. I hope to do some public speaking within the next couple years. I plan to do like in-person lucid dream retreats. So just connection and community is really what I'm
This
what I'm
sounds
looking
really,
for.
I'm excited. Now,
Yeah.
you're on Mountain Time, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So for those of my clients that are on here, when she says 8 p.m., it's Mountain Time. And I think that that's 8, 9, 10. You're 3 hours behind. So that would be 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I think. So,
Yeah, Eastern is 2 hours ahead of me.
so that would be 10
Yeah.
o'clock. That'd be
Yeah.
10 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Eastern Standard Time.
Yep.
So if you want to tune in to the live stream, it's tonight, 10 p.m. our time. So
It's actually going to be in like 20 minutes today. Today's the only day it's going to be earlier. I'm actually going to Salt Caves later. So 6 p.m. Mountain today, then the rest of the time, 8 p.m. Just wanted to clarify so no one's waiting over there.
prepare for your live stream. And one more question before we go. So Martha wants to know, what about my consistent dreams of Lewis and Elvira? So Martha has consistent dreams of her mom and dad that have passed away almost every night. What is that all about? Like, is there something she needs to do with that, or are they just visitations?
So it could be just visitations. I'd also look at like the overall dream. Like, is it like a recurring dream? Does it have the same kind of feeling, or is there like different messages coming through? So I would look at if it's like the same dream replaying or if they're just showing up over and over in your dreams. What I would do is start to connect with them energetically before you fall asleep. So again, you can use this time to ask questions, or show me what I need to see. You can say something like that to kind of initiate an invitation to show up in your dreams. And then I also recommend, if you can, starting to create awareness checks around them. So anytime you hear about them, you see their name, you think about them, just ask yourself if you could be dreaming and just count your fingers really quick. And if you create that habit, the next time you dream of them, you will automatically go to count your fingers to see if you're dreaming, and you'll realize that you are dreaming. And then you can ask them questions face to face, you can hug them, you can go on adventures with them. So the ultimate goal when it comes to this is to get lucid so we can make the most of these experiences, but you can still connect to them outside of dreams. So maybe again, see if the dreams are just recurring, because there might be one specific message. But if it's just they're showing up in your dreams over and over, they might just want to sit down with you and have a conversation with you. So try asking some questions as you're falling asleep. And then if you can set up awareness triggers and get lucid, then you can be with them just like real life. And that will be an amazing experience. So I would love to hear about that.
It's been an amazing experience having you on the show. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
The time
Thank you.
to do this. Let's stay in touch and keep me updated on everything you're doing so I can share it with my audience. And we will see you in a little bit on your live.
Sounds good. Thanks again. It's been awesome.
All right.
Much love to you.
Haley.
Bye.